Um, I never thought I would have to make this kind of video, but, um, well, my name is Bianca Romano. I was in the building on the first floor, the freshman building, where the shooting started, and I wrote a little bit about what happened, and I thought I would read it for people to get insight on what happened. And it's just been a lot recently. It's only been 3 days, but it feels like it's been 6. Every day feels like it's 2, and so I'm gonna read this now. The shots I hear so extremely loud. I looked up from my phone in class, confused, and saw all my classmates run and duck under Mrs. Lyon's desk. The sound was so loud. At first, it didn't seem like it was gunshots. It sounded like someone banging on the door with all their might. And then we heard more shots, and my classmates screamed with terror in their voice. And I thought to myself in the moment, oh, maybe it's a recording or blanks, because when they told us about the Code Red drill, they said they'd have fake gunshots. Then the fire alarm was pulled. We stayed in our classroom. I didn't feel scared at the moment because I was confused as to what was going on. But when I looked under the table, I saw my friend Caroline bawling her eyes out. Michael had his phone out and was calling the police, saying, Stoneman Douglas is getting shot up. Stoneman Douglas is getting shot up. Over and over to the receiver. I thought it was ridiculous. Like, why are you calling the police? It's obviously a drill. It's obviously fake. I wouldn't find out till later that the first shots I heard were right outside my classroom in the hallway. My classmates were texting their parents so profusely fast, probably saying, I love you, Mom. I love you, Dad. But I turned off my phone in worries that it would go off during the drill. The shots got quieter as time went on and eventually stopped. And then we heard voices in the hallway, people yelling, put your hands up, put your hands up. And my mind raced as to what was happening. My heart was beating out of my chest, and my hip hurt from being in an awkward position through it. I thought the shooters got into their room and were taking them hostage, or maybe worse. The voices got louder until we could hear them. They were right by our classroom. Girls screaming at the top of their lungs from yelling. My class somehow remained quiet, but as I looked at my classmate, Ashley, she looked directly at me and broke into tears. My mind was still racing and I felt sick, anxiety racing through my body, and they started knocking at our doors, screaming, open the door, it's the police, over and over again. People were yelling at my teacher to open the door, but I was screaming with my life not to. They kept yelling outside when my teacher said, okay, I'll answer the door. I never heard a tone of voice like that from her, but she could. Before she could open it, the window was smashed open and the door was opened when 2 police officers with bulletproof vests and large rifles came in. Did you see what he looks like? Is anyone hurt? We all shook our heads no. Put your hands up over your head and follow me. We followed the officers out the door and stepped on glass and gunpowder. The hall was so dusty, and as I looked around, I saw all the other classes in the hall walking out with officers. They told us to stay to the left and look at the wall, and when I looked to the right, I saw blood pouring out of 2 innocent people. We got to the end of the hall, and police told us to run outside and across the street. And I grabbed my phone from my pocket and turned it on and started running for my life. I saw fire trucks and cop cars and ambulances surrounding the area. We ran across the street, and I bent over, and tears started to pour. I hit the button to call my mom, and when she answered, I screamed while sobbing. Mom, my school is getting shot, and I'm okay, but I saw 2 dead bodies on the ground. My mom cried with me and was unbelievably relieved that I was okay. And I ran across to an area with grass and talked with my mom about what happened, and then we said goodbyes, and she said she would be coming to get me soon. As I looked around, I saw people sobbing and hugging companions. I just stood and sobbed, and I bent over and my chest heaved, knowing I just went through that. I texted my sister, who was at college in Gainesville. She probably had no idea what was going on, but I said we were involved in a shooting, but I was okay. Seeing my friends and hugging them with all my might, them sobbing in my arms as they told me what happened. We all sat down and explained where we were when it happened. At the time, we couldn't even comprehend what happened to us. That night, when I finally got home, my parents hugged me and sobbed and told me how worried they were. I saw my own dad cry. When he broke his ribs years ago, he didn't cry. But him knowing that I wasn't safe at school was his worst nightmare. My family was sick to their stomachs as we watched the news. My head was pounding with a horrible headache. All those images I saw raced through my head, and I cried as I watched the TV. The number of fatalities kept rising and rising, up to 17. It made it one of the worst school shootings in the history of the United States. As I went to bed that night, I only fell asleep because of exhaustion. I will never forget this day. A lot has happened, and the first shots that we heard were in our hallway, probably right outside of our classroom, because my classroom was right across the girls' bathroom, and someone in the band, marching band with me, Ashley Baez, she got hurt, and she got shot in the leg in the bathroom on the first floor. And I'm just so lucky to know that my teacher locked the door. We were always joking and like thinking about months before, like, oh, if the shooter was to come, like, probably the 1200 building. Like, it's separated from the school. There's so many people there. There's 3 levels. They'd probably run up there. And we would never think that this would happen because we thought we were so safe. And 3 of my classmates passed away. And all of which I've known since 6th grade. I will never forget all the times that they would come into class and they would be happy and they'd be laughing, talking to their friends. And I was never very close with anyone, with the 3 of them, but we would talk to each other. We would be like, oh, hey, what was the answer to number 20 or something? And it's just horrible to think that now when I graduate my senior year, the class of 2021, that we won't see them there. And that I don't want my school to be some statistic like, oh, 17 people, 14 injured. It's just horrible. And I never thought this would happen. Never in a million years. And I'm so glad my friends are okay. And my sister graduated last year and she goes to UF now, and she was freaking out. She didn't know what was happening when I texted her, because I texted her and then I had to call my dad and my mom, and she didn't know exactly what was going on. I don't think she knew that I was in the building where it happened. And it's just crazy to go on the news and see all these people's faces, and people don't know who they are, but I did. I saw them in the hallways. And I'm just trying to grieve. And I'm so thankful to be with my friends and my family. And I just came back with hanging out with some really good friends. Thank you for supporting us, and if you would want to, I can put some GoFundMe links in the description, and that please sign petitions on gun control. It has to stop. I don't think anyone could go through that, should go through that.